Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Man of Dorks, the podcast. I'm Philip, and with me till the day of judgment is John. How's it going, John?
Hey, I'm here.
And today we have a special guest with us, Andy.
Hello.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, John.
Last week, the Magic Game Night set came out. We had Andy come in and play with us. We have video of that, but I'm really bad at video editing, so it is taking me some time to get that ready to go. So eventually there will be a video for player game nights, just whenever I decide to do that.
I was the person everybody killed first in that video.
Both games.
Both games. With different decks.
So we have a lot of stuff going on today. We're going to talk about BNR for Monday, which was huge.
We are going to talk about the game night video and the
Game night
decks that came out
as a whole. And then there is, we're going to talk about the mystery booster lists. We're going to go through every card individually, one by one.
No, we're
No,
There's 1,694 cards that are released.
We've got some highlights from that we're going to touch on. But other than that,
Bloom Tender.
Andy and his Bloom Tender. So I guess first we'll start off with bands. Standard bands, we got finally Oko.
Oko raised the price.
Oko. And we'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about that in a second.
And we have Veil of Summer getting banned in Standard.
I'm a little surprised, but I guess I'm not. It
makes
kept the standard
sense,
back.
But honestly, now that Oko is banned, I think it has no real reason. Because you can use Veil of Summer on Oko.
I mean, it's gonna there's no blue-black decks in the meta with Veil of Summer.
Yeah.
I mean, now that Oko's gone, you're going to have Grixis Fires is going to take off, and that's, we've got blue and black.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be interesting, because now it's really going to take off, because your only answer for blue and black just got banned.
I feel like they banned Veil of Summers too early. They should have did Oko and... What was that?
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time. Yeah,
Once Upon a Time, I'm not surprised about it at all.
32 out of 36? Yeah, me neither.
I mean, it's opening hand. You automatically go fetch a creature or a land, whatever you need. You're good to go. It's
really, really good. But I understand that Veil of Summer is literally 1 mana Cryptic Command.
It's a 1 mana counterspell in green.
It's incredibly good, but it's a sideboard card. You don't use it until game 2 anyway.
It's better than any 1 mana blue counterspell out there, and it's in green.
Yeah, but it's a game 2 card.
You also got to think though, it specifically shuts down 2 out of 5 colors.
I'd run 2 in main board.
Yeah, the thing about that is, we've let Oko go this long, and he shuts down 5 out of 5 colors.
That's why Oko should have been banned first.
Oko should have never been printed.
The only reason we didn't notice Oko was so bad is because it can't shut down lands, and Field of the Dead was a problem before. Field of the Dead was overwhelming, and then Oko was overwhelming because nothing could slow it down at that point.
And, now, we're going to see Grixis Fires come out up top. Cavalcade decks are probably going to make a comeback.
Yeah, but I don't think anything is going to be as oppressive as Oko or Field of the Dead was in the meta.
No, absolutely not. I do think that come December 16th, we will see the unban of most likely Veil of Summer.
I could see that happening.
We're going to see I see why they banned it, but it's going to probably get unbanned come the 16th.
I think depending on how the meta shifts and what we see in Theros and definitely Ikoria, Field of the Dead might even get unbanned. Probably not, because it did garner a lot of hate, and it got banned in another format, didn't it?
What?
Field of the Dead?
No, it's still only just banned in Standard.
Just Standard?
Yeah.
Okay.
They haven't banned it in Pioneers. It's not...
It's not fast enough in Pioneer to be a problem, I don't think.
And then we had a couple legacy bans and a vintage ban, or a vintage restriction. They banned Wrenn and 6 in legacy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which
they restricted Narset.
In vintage.
In vintage, yeah.
I'm unclear why Wrenn and 6 was hit so hard.
An infinite strip mine is the only thing I can think of.
I feel like there's much more
I
dumb
think that
things
was
that can
the
go on
exact
there.
reason.
Yeah, and like I could see why Narset got restricted.
Yeah, I can understand Narset.
It was a 4 of and everything.
It was just card advantage.
It was negative.
Overwhelming
card advantage.
card advantage. You get card advantage, your opponent loses it.
Yeah. So let's okay. Let's talk about Oko and how terrible and just wow. So Wizards released an article about how they messed up and how Oko should have never been printed.
Yeah.
And we're just supposed to accept that. Like, okay, that's the problem is you've now printed 2 cards in the last 2 sets printed this year, or 3 if we count Veil of Summer.
And Once Upon a Time.
Well, Once Upon a Time is not good enough. Ancient Stirrings is fine, and it's way better than Once Upon a Time. But I'm talking about Oko, Veil of Summer. If I will count it for this, and then Hogag. Like we've printed in the last 3 sets printed, we've had 3 cards that they're like, hey, whoops.
Well, okay, in the defense of Oko, me and John were talking about this earlier. As far as Oko goes, and as a matter of fact, all the walkers from Throne of Eldraine, I think they were more concerned about rips being such a big problem that they didn't think of the overwhelming power of the +1s. Because even look at the Royal Scions. The Royal Scions, which I still consider a very underrated card.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got 2 pluses and then a big neg, but the big negative is not going to be a game ender, especially not in the format of Standard.
I mean, it could be.
It could be potentially, but it's going to require a lot more of a combo to get there.
Yeah, now that Oko's gone, you can just run Magic Mirror. Because Magic Mirror is actually going to stick around to be able to do something.
Magic Mirror is a solid card, and I also think it is underrated. You don't see enough of it.
Well, you didn't see enough of it because it didn't get to do anything. You got Magic Mirror, and then the next
Elk.
one, oh yeah, that's Elk now. Haha.
Great Henge, same thing.
Yeah.
Put it down, it's an elk.
The only artifact out of the cycle that was got any use at all was Embercleave, and that's because it's got at least 1 use in it before it's an elk.
Yeah.
So it's and
even still, how many times do you see an Embercleave? It's rare.
You see it in Cavalcade, and it comes down after the Cavalcade trigger for bonus damage.
I run Cavalcade, and I don't even run it in there. I mean,
I run it as a one of, and
it comes in
really
handy.
nice.
And maybe if I like to do games of 1, but if you're actually playing a full Standard game, then I'd run it sideboard.
Yeah, I'd run 1 main deck and probably 1 sideboard.
Yeah, one or 2 sideboard.
But so Oko was $30. Got banned, went down to $20, and then here we are on Sunday, a couple of days after our normal recording date, and now Oko
almost a full week after the ban.
Yeah, and Oko is now $40. The border list is like
55. It's 55.
What?
I checked it this morning.
Never has a card been banned and then jumped in price.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't make
Okay, so here is my theory about that. People were like, okay, the day it got banned, it dropped in price. They started buying it all out. It had a big demand because it's used in so many other formats. Because, I mean, you can't use it in Standard, you can't use it in Brawl, but it's used in literally every other format across the board. So people were buying it up, and that caused the price to jump, and people still want the card.
Yeah.
People realized once it got banned how broken it was, because some people don't play Standard. I mean, I like to play a game of Standard every once in a while, but I'm mostly a Commander player.
Yeah, and Oko is just also really good in Commander.
Yeah,
There is that case where sometimes cards that are only okay in Standard but good in other formats will jump in price after they rotate.
Yeah, like Liliana.
Yeah, and this is sort of the same instance. I mean,
I think people saw it get banned and they were like, hey, it's cheap, let's buy it now. And that caused people to be like, the sellers to be like, oh, okay, let's raised the price a little bit, and it just kept jumping and jumping and jumping until it finally stabilized. And people are still paying $55 or $45, and then $55 for a pretty Oko. And quite frankly, I don't see paying that much for an Oko. I don't even see trading that much for an Oko. But it's a great card. I would gladly pay $25.
I mean, of course it's a great card. Wizards literally said, hey, we never should have printed this. That's our bad. Which is the third time they've said that in the history of Magic.
Philip, you're getting on that rant again.
I hate it. Dude, the problem is in a game where the entire thing is based on the RNG of buying packs, we shouldn't be banning things in Standard because we're too incompetent to print something that isn't going to
Let's also talk about the fact that Throne of Eldraine is still being sold out like nationwide.
I went to Walmart the other day. They have M20 for days and no Throne of Eldraine packs.
And that's just like that's a huge corporation too. You also got to think of the mom and pop card shops as well. They're staying sold out. As soon as a case comes in, it's sold by the end of the next day.
It's the power, the power creep. Throne of Eldraine is probably the most powerful set of Magic since original Innistrad.
And they said in one of the articles they released recently that this is kind of the top, like outliers aside, this is kind of the cap where they want to keep the power level. Like they want to kind of go back to the standard of RTR to Theros.
That was a really bad standard, though.
Was it?
But just standard? Overall, the set itself. Let's think of terms outside of standard. You've got cards that are literally going to go in every format. You've got cards that are going in modern, vintage, even stuff that's solid in Pioneer that's knocking some of the older decks out, and not to mention EDH, which we all know and love.
Yeah, it's just I forgot what we were talking about. Like, I'm just so upset that Oko went up in price, but.
Okay. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the game night decks.
Okay.
Oko.
Oh,
Okay, I'm done.
Say Oko. They were like, we shouldn't have printed this. This was our fault. And this did the same thing with Hogak just earlier this year.
Okay, we're done talking about Oko forever now. We're never going to bring him up again.
Until they unban him in December. Week. Yeah.
they're going to talk about Oko next week.
Okay. Magic Game Nights. Magic Game Nights is a 5-deck box. It comes with 5 monocolored decks. It's designed to play with 4 people, and it is designed to teach new players how to play. All the decks come with a fancy card that tells you like what the deck specializes in, how many creatures are in it, how fast it is, how complex it is. It comes with a bunch of double-sided tokens. It comes with 5 spin down dice. They don't have set symbols for the 20, so they're just 20, which is kind of nice. It comes with 25 cardboard +1/+1 counters.
Which is cool. You don't see that.
That's the thing that I was most excited about out of this set. And it also, every monocolor deck has a foil face mythic, and they're all kind of the same. I think they're all the same mana cost. They're all 6 drops across the board.
None of them are legendary creatures.
Yes, none of them are legendary.
I know the white is a 7-drop.
Oh yeah, he is.
And the blue might also be. The blue is a 6-drop. Okay.
Yeah. The blue's bad.
Yeah, besides the blue, all the mythics are actually pretty good. Yeah, the blue's only okay.
Yeah, the blue deck overall underperforms.
The blue deck is a really good tempo deck.
Didn't it win? No. White won. It almost won game 2.
It was really fun to play. Honestly, I played it the second game.
It seemed like it had a lot of interactions. I mean, how many times did you treachery?
That Agent of Treachery got a lot of play. If I could find a couple of those unsummons in this deck, it would have been.
And that's not necessarily something that everybody would do. That is definitely a John move. I've been playing Magic against John
the first
for a long
time it came down, Philip had 5 planes, and I took one of them because I thought that was the move to make. And you know what? It was. That one white mana came in handy.
So the box is $35, which is incredibly cheap. Some of these cards, last I checked, are still worth over $10.
Yeah,
most of the mythics are sitting around 9 to 10.
And
Even the other rares that come in the decks, the
yeah, Billis is pretty expensive.
Drakaseth, I think, is still a couple bucks.
Yeah,
Voracious Hydra.
but it's the blue deck has no legendary creatures in it at all, and all the other ones have two.
Yeah, at least one I know.
Yeah,
At least one or two.
you
per
get
deck.
the red one has Drakaseth and what's the other one in the red one?
Lathlis, the mother of dragons.
Yeah. The green one has Galta. And it's got one more in it. The white one has.
The white one has Zatalpa and Zafara.
Yes. And then the black one is Villis, and. It might just have Villis.
Yeah, it might. Oh, Torgar. Famine
Torgar.
Incarnate.
Yeah.
And let's not
It also
forget
has a
about the
Dread
red
presence.
deck.
The red. We already.
Yeah, we went through
Yeah.
that deck.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Drakaseth and that other thing.
Yeah.
Lathlis.
Yep.
So does that one only have Galta?
Galta is the only one in the green deck.
Oh, well, that's fair.
It's a Galta.
The green deck is terrifyingly.
You can pump it out so quick,
Yeah.
which we saw in game 2.
Yeah.
It put a big target on my
To be
forehead.
fair, they're all very color wheel.
Yeah,
I don't
they're-
expect blue to have a whole lot of power behind it, but it is a lot of complexity behind the deck and a lot of interaction, which I really enjoy playing with.
Also,
Personally.
if we're gonna talk about it, the green deck put out a 16-17 Voracious Hydra on turn 6.
Turn 6.
And then its controller died the next turn, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, we all three made sure that he died because he had a giant, terrifying Voracious Hydra.
Totally worth it.
Absolutely worth it. It was a huge threat.
It helped me knock Cameron off the board.
Yeah. And then when it comes down to the face foil, the face mythics that are all foil,
Mm-hmm.
they are all very good except for the blue one, which is pretty much garbage.
It's still runnable.
Can we talk
I would
about
put
the
it in a deck.
foiling on that? Because the foiling on them, they look like
They honestly don't curl much
No.
at all.
No, they've been sitting out here in the cold studio
for at least a week.
for at least a week, and they're not curled up that bad. But Sphinx of Enlightenment is just... I don't even think it got cast. I think it's the only one... Well, Earthshaker Giant didn't get cast either, but it's just baby Craterhoof. We know that's good.
I didn't last long enough for it to get cast.
But-
I was dead by the end of
Highcliff
everybody's turn
Faladar,
6.
the white mythic, is just fantastic. It comes down and for each opponent
You kill
destroys
their highest power.
destroy
creature.
target creature with the highest power. So it's just whatever threats are on board are just dead.
Yeah, Calculating Lich, it gets a lot of damage in.
The Fiendish Duo.
The
though.
Fiendish Duo is the MVP out of all of these. Whenever a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that much damage instead.
So that's any source to any opponent.
Baby Gisela.
Yeah.
It's almost better than Gisela.
The only thing that it does worse than Gisela is it only targets player. It only affects players, where Gisela affects board state and players.
But
Yes.
Gisela says the stuff you control, whereas
No, I think Gisela says any source.
does it? It's been a minute since I've read
Yeah,
Gisela.
I'm pretty sure Gisela says any source.
Well, While we're looking at that, like the foiling on these looks a lot like it would out of a like the Commander Prince. What are they called? The boxes that the Commander decks come in. We'll cut like half of this while I'm trying to think.
the Commander box set. Are you talking about like from the vaults?
Yes,
and things?
fr-
Okay.
it looks like a from the vault foiling.
Oh no, these foils are very, very good, especially compared to regular. Like the Highcliff Felidar is beautiful, and the purple on the Calculating Lich's weird little sword thing kind of has a different foil part to it too. So
I mean, even though the blue one's pretty trash, it
It
looks
looks good.
beautiful.
yeah, I don't want you to draw a card so I can draw 3 cards. That's just, it's bad. But I mean, it is a
It's
5/5.
good if you have a no, because it's only the first card, so it wouldn't. Narset wouldn't even stop
It's a
it.
5/5 flyer, and it's good for politics. I mean,
I'm gonna hit you in the head with this 5-5. Great, I got a 5-5 first striker that hits you for 10. So
It's good for politics. Like, hey, I don't want you to kill me. I'll let you draw a card, but I'm drawing 3.
some of the cards in this set, or in this box, are standard legal, and then the ones that don't have a standard legal set symbol printed on them are only legal in
Eternal formats.
eternal formats.
They have the weird like manipulated star looking thing on it.
Yeah, it's all in all, it was really good. We had some really good plays.
The games were long.
The games were really long for 60 card.
And for pre-con decks, they were really well put together.
Yeah.
I like the synergy that
Very well
went throughout all
balanced.
the decks.
Yeah.
And it's as a way to teach new players how to play Magic and to find the color that they like best.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Except for
Solid.
blue. It really doesn't represent blue very well
if you
at all.
like the blue deck, you are definitely a blue player.
I am a blue player, and I do not like the blue deck.
You didn't try the blue deck.
No, I'm also more spiky with my blue decks.
I like extra turns, but I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, I like Kefnet in everything. Just let me put God Eternal Kefnet in everything, please. You guys have anything you want to talk about the game night set specifically before we move on?
No, I think that about wraps it up for me.
I think for $35, it's definitely value.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
worth the purchase.
4 dice.
Even
Plus
if you
one, plus
don't
one
have
counter.
4 friends to play with.
Yeah.
I don't know how to follow that up. That was a pretty sad
You
statement.
gotta, you gotta think too. If you do have like 5 people that are all kind of wanting to learn a new TCG game, everybody throws in a couple of bucks, and there you go. Each of y'all can get a deck.
Yeah. Or, just one person can buy it for $35 and then have all of the cards that come with it.
Wonder who that's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Philip?
because then Andy will just be like, here, let me throw everything I own at you for some of these cards that are only printed in this box.
It's not my fault. I carry around enough trade stock to fill up my trunk.
I know, but you don't have any of the things I need for my Pioneer deck.
You don't know that.
I need Locust Gods for sure.
That reminds me, Jacob found your modern deck.
Oh, the really, really hilarious Is It deck?
Yeah.
It's Land Destruction Is It.
I
Yeah,
already
so if
like
you
it.
want anything, just hit him up.
Yeah,
Out of that deck.
there's 4 creatures in it, and it's all
Land destruction.
Frost Titans.
Yeah. And everything else, it's not land destruction. He's taking your lands with like annex and like.
And then using Wildfire to make you sack whatever lands you have, and then I just sack your lands. It's really, really, really nasty.
Sounds very gimmicky, but
Oh, it's hilarious. There's 4 Is It signets. The only thing I cut in it is it wanted fetch lands. And I was like, I'm not paying for Scalding Tarn? So I'm not paying for Scalding Tarn, so I bought Shivan Reefs instead. Which I'm glad I did, because Shivan Reefs are legal in Pioneer. So, yeah.
Yeah.
we're probably going to have to cut like half of that.
Why?
Let's
It'll be
move on.
fine. We don't have to cut any of this. Yeah, we're still trying to fill time.
Is it Pioneer? Is it?
Oh.
Is it really?
Whenever my girlfriend says, "Oh, is it?" I go, "No, it's Golgari." She doesn't get it, and then she gets mad at me. I make too many magic puns at her. She'll say something to me in an argument, and then I'll just show her a picture of the magic card that what she just said referenced. Yeah, yeah.
She's a strong person to put
She-
up with you.
She was being mean to me one day over something, and I was like, "You really just gonna stand here and browbeat me like this?" Yeah, I have just hundreds of magic card photos saved in my phone from where I send them to her. My life is miserable. Okay, so now let's move on to probably the biggest topic of the day, the mystery boosters. They have revealed deck lists for those.
Well, they've revealed most of the card lists.
I said deck list. Whoops.
Out of the 815 different cards that are going to be printed in each version, so that's an even bigger list. That's over 2,000 total cards that they're going to be printing in these packs. But for the convention version, they're going to have the playtest card in the 15th slot.
Yeah.
And then in the store version, they're going to have a foil from its own unique sheet that hasn't been revealed yet. So there's going to be over 1,800 cards in this set, and it's just bananas thinking about it. I'm so excited for this. They did a article recently. Gavin Verhey did one doing a pack breakdown. And the thing to be most excited about is the pre M15 card and the post M15 rare or mythic. In addition to the foil, which we can't even talk about yet because we don't know anything about it. Except that we haven't seen any of the foils.
So, wait, there's going to be... Every pack is going to have 2 rares.
Well, the pre M15 card isn't necessarily going to be rare.
Okay.
But it is going to be the original border. It's nothing changed except for the little Planeswalker symbol. So if you get like
So
one of
they're
the
just
older
like,
cards like the...
We have this surplus of blood artists just laying around.
Let's slap
Slide
a stamp on it and send it out.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Like if you get an ancient Ziggurat, it's going to be the old
The old
frame
symbol.
on it. Yeah, it's
That's an old card, too.
yeah.
That $15 a pack, you think?
I think it's probably going to go for like just the normal because they want people to play these packs. They want people to draft these packs. It's a chaos draft set,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be a really limited run. They're
So $5 a pack then.
each and yeah, I'd say like $5 to $7.
Based off of what I've seen for the packs, I would pay about $6 to $8 for a
No.
pack.
Yeah, no
problem.
problem.
So-
Even
Yeah.
in a draft, I'd pay
Exactly.
instead like a $15,
I would,
$20 draft.
I would still pay $15 for a pack because if I get a Mana Crypt, it's going to be the best day that anyone has ever seen in their lives.
Well, that's one of the other weird things is each card slot is gonna have its own sheet. So each of the cards is gonna have basically the same chance of being pulled.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but and with all of the cards being unique, all the packs, none of the packs are gonna look the same at all because they're gonna have each slot is gonna have pulled from a different sheet. So that's 121 different packs you're making, just with 15 sheets.
So is there going to be enough of cards to affect finance?
That's the real big question. How many of these cards are they gonna print?
Are they going to do a primary run and then when it sells out in a week, do a secondary run?
Hopefully, I know the release date is March 22nd.
Yeah.
So they have some time to figure it out, and we have
Yeah,
some
I
time
mean,
to be excited
Well,
about it.
it's the first run of the convention packs literally selling out.
Yeah, the convention packs were a huge hit. The playtest cards are hilarious. I've been looking at a lot of those in my spare time.
The main one that I remember is the one that says whenever a player adds mana to their mana pool, each player adds that mana to their mana
that
pool
was a good one.
also.
My favorite was I think it was called One with Death. There was a 1-drop black sorcery that said you lose the game. And my first thought was, oh, Hive Mind. I'm going to lose the game, but first you're going to lose the game, you're going to lose the game, and you're going to lose the game, so I win the game.
If
Yeah.
only they were legal in any format.
I know, it would be amazing.
Which, they could have probably printed some of those and been like, hey, these are going to be legal. We'll do like they did with the last Unset and make a couple of them Commander legal
I
for
would honestly,
a month or two.
I would
Probably
like to
not.
see just like an unformat.
The problem with an unformat is they do so many stupid and ridiculous things, like the Lotus that taps for infinite mana, or
There's like things that'll like tap a permanent in another game.
Yeah.
Ban restriction list. I mean, but there are some fun cards in
What
the
would the
unsets
point
that
of-
would be fun to play.
Chaos
What was the point
confetti.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. that's fair.
Chaos.
Blacker
confetti.
Lotus.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to see somebody play a mana screw in a game.
Okay.
That is literally it.
What's the vat that, like, if somebody touches it, they lose a life? It's like the toxic vat. Like, whenever a player
Something like
touches
that.
toxic vat, they lose a life.
Cheaty face, for example. It's
Uh,
like tons of
it's-
fun stuff like that. And they're really fun sets.
Animate library.
And
I'm gonna swing my deck at you.
And
I've had that happen when they had the whole like commander legal on. Yeah. I remember Corey swung his deck at me and killed me with his deck.
that's amazing.
It was pretty nasty.
That's
beautiful.
That's super awesome.
I wasn't even playing an undeck, so like I literally stood no chance. I was playing my favorite competitive deck, Maelstrom Wander, and He just beat my face in with
If you
his deck.
clone your animate library, does it enter the battlefield as a copy of your library?
Is your library legendary? Is my question.
Does Animate Library say it is? It obviously turns it into a creature.
Yeah,
So it would be copyable by clone.
yeah.
This is why there's not an unformat.
Yeah, exactly. This is why. Let's we can talk about unsets again because Andy seems to really be fond of them, and I think they're the dumbest things ever made.
But
I
I
think
want to
they're
go back.
fun.
Let's
We're
go
gonna
back and talk about the
we're gonna
mystery
play-
booster.
mystery boosters. Yeah.
The pre M15 card list I think is so exciting. There is another list where in the article that Gavin Berry released, he released all of the pre M15 cards they're releasing, and all of the post M15 rares and mythics that they're releasing, and it's just so much fun looking at these cards.
Well, we'll touch on some of those. We already said Mana Crypt is going to be in it. It's the most expensive card printed in the boosters, at just under $200.
There's going to be a Teferi's Protection in it,
Which has only ever been printed one time
In a commander set.
in the Edgar Markov Commander set,
Yep.
which is like $250 on Amazon and eBay.
the Teferi's Protection itself is like 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 40. But I'm just
Well,
saying the whole deck is
I
like
mean,
$240.
I'm hoping they print enough of these, like, Mana Crypt, Bloom Tender, Teferi's Protection. I'm hoping they print enough of these to see some of these cards drop. Because a lot of them are staples in...
Teferi's Protection is utterly broken.
if you're running white, you run it. In
Yeah.
EDH, I mean, you automatically run it.
Well, if you're
Um,
running white and have pockets that deep.
I mean,
Yeah,
see,
but
exactly.
that's
Exactly.
Wizards is we see it like Wizards is making this push to make the game cheaper, so that
New
they
players can get
yeah.
into it, yeah.
and all they're really doing because they don't have an MSRP, so all your cards are sell at market price. Well, if there's a million Teferi's Protections out and about, look at Llanowar Elf. How many Llanowar Elves are there?
I could probably literally walk out this door and step on at least 3.
Yeah.
And there are
There's
no
a
cards
Wild
in the floor.
Nacatl.
What?
Wild Nacatl is going to be printed in this set.
Yeah. So you could probably count the number of Teferi's Protections that are existing in the world currently. So that I think, and that's really going to change things if they keep printing these cards. It's like they keep printing Sol Ring and Command Tower for the sole purpose that these two commander staples
Are in almost everything.
and aren't $10 a piece.
Yeah.
I remember when Sol Rings were $5 and $6 a piece, and now they're $250.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they fluctuate too. So, like, as a new commander set is coming out, they drop a little bit, and every once in a while you'll see them hit like $3 to $5. But if you've been playing Commander long enough, you know not to buy a $5 Sol Ring unless
Yeah.
it is beautiful.
And you're just gonna wait for the next commander deck to come out because
They usually
they
sit
always-
around $3.
Yeah. It's a good thing that Wizards is doing where they're trying to push to make the game cheaper for everybody.
As much as I hate to say it, as somebody that owns 2 Mana Crypts, I would love to see Mana Crypt drop to about $50. That would be fantastic. Don't think it'll ever happen, but I would love to see it.
I just think that when it gets to, we'll say cards in the last 10 years, being over $50 is crazy. Like, Mind Sculptor is still like 100.
Oko.
Liliana is still like 80, I think, of the Veil.
Yeah, Lily of the Veil sitting at her. Actually, I think she dropped a little bit. I think she's sitting around 69 to 75.
And then, I remember, like, in Cards in Standard, we haven't really seen it in this last little bit. Cards in Standard go over $50, but I remember when...
I think the last Nicol Bolas was when it came out was right about $40,
Yeah,
$50.
but
It was.
Right.
But
Karn, when it
It's
came out, was
lowered.
like $50, $60.
But as we all know, too, the launch price
Teferi
at
was
pre-release
like 50.
date is not indicative of anything. Because,
I mean, Teferi, until it rotated, was about 50.
yeah,
The
and
Hero
so,
of Dominaria.
okay, so that is...
you get 1 or 2 cards per
Yeah.
standard set.
And
That's understandable.
But it's also a problem because
Yeah.
these cards are only like this because they're the standard meta.
Yeah.
And
Except for Oko being the exception.
Yeah.
Gotta keep bringing him up.
yeah, but he's now super banned, so who cares? He doesn't apply to this statement anymore.
$55.
Super banned, so he jumped in price like.
Yeah.
$10.
Well, he's only 40 right now. He's 55 if you get the.
I would
borderless
just like
one
to
out of
say I like beating a dead horse and bringing this
Yeah.
up for Philip
Oh,
because it
hate
gets
Oko.
the rent.
So, but let's talk about, we were talking about how this new standard is kind of how they want it to be like it was in Theros and RTR.
Yeah, well, they were saying this is kind of the power level. Like, this is the cap of the power level that they want to be at. Like, high end
Yeah.
is Throne of Eldraine.
But right before that, the standard before that was when Thragtusk was $45. And if you weren't running Thragtusk, you just didn't win. I think Thragtusk was still in RTR standard. It rotated out when Theros came in. Yeah, because there was nothing more disappointing than eating the turn 3 Tristani, turn 4 Thragtusk. I'm going to gain 8 life. LOL. And then whatever you do, if you kill my Thragtusk, then I'm going to gain 3 more life and start populating that 3/3 beast token.
But I mean,
Yeah.
let's look at those cards now. I mean, since they are out of one of the most popular formats, they're. I mean, how many Thragtusk do you see in a week?
No, none.
Yeah, and if you do see them, they're like $2.
Yeah.
Somebody will throw one at you.
That's
for all
like
you care.
Silverblade Paladin. Silverblade Paladin was $30 the entire time it was in standard, and then
Yep.
now they're like 75 cents.
And then there are cards that are the opposite, though. There's like Amulet of Vigor. It used to be like $2, and now it's like 20.
20.
Yeah.
Sitting at 20.
When it comes to standard though, there should really be like a cap to it.
Mhm.
Because Oko is, I mean, if we're gonna get down to it, it's a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And why am I gonna spend $50 on a piece of cardboard?
I've
Yes.
done dumber.
I know you have. I just watched you buy a Pokemon team on eBay. So I'm just gonna keep bringing that
I'm a
up.
competitive player in everything I do.
A Pokemon team.
Okay, this is a
On
Magic the
eBay.
Gathering podcast. Let's veer off from this subject.
So
At least I admit
Yeah.
to it. I mean, come on.
that's fair. Let's get off of this train and go back to talking about. I want to talk about I think it's a common that they're printing in the mystery booster. It's an uncommon. It's Baleful Strix. It's
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my.
I remember the first time they printed it. They printed it in the last Plane Chase set they did, and it was in the Ninja box. And it was the most expensive card printed in that Plane Chase set.
Well, up until I've not looked at the prices recently, but up until this has been released, it was only printed in a foil one time. And so there for a while, the Baleful Strix, just a regular one's like, maybe $5 at the most. I don't even think it ever hit that. But a foil one was sitting
did it.
at 55 there for
They
a long
were, I think I sold mine for like $15. Because it was the only, because in 2012, Plane Chase 2012 is when it was printed for the first time. And it was the only time it had ever been printed. And I guess this list I'm looking at, they printed it again in Commander 2013, and that was the second time it was ever printed.
time. And the first time it was printed in that first set, that was the only foiling it had ever got.
It wasn't foil at all in Plane Chase. It was just a it looks like
There was a foiling of it, for sure.
Eternal. It was printed
That's
in.
where it was.
Yeah, it was printed in the Nicol Bolas Arch Enemy, and it was printed in Eternal Masters.
The Eternal Masters one.
But this card is bonkers. It's a 2-drop 1/1 flying and death touch. When it enters the battlefield,
Draw
you draw
card.
a card. This was the card.
Ultimate chunk blocker.
Yeah, well, second ultimate.
Oh, okay.
Apocryphite.
Yeah,
Gotta give it to my
that's-
boy Apocryphite.
It never dies
Nope. It's
unless it's exiled.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's go through. Nisa, Voice of Zendikar.
Chatter the Squirrel.
Demonic Tutor. Like, these are, like, Demonic Tutor's a staple.
Centaur
nice.
Glade.
Elish Norn is going to be in these mystery boosters.
Anna Sanctuary.
Kolaghan's Command, which is playing Pioneer.
Our boy Popo's coming
Our
back.
boy Popo's coming
Good old
back.
Perforos.
boy.
Perosh is in this.
Aetherios, which according to MTG Stocks has taken a huge price hit down to $18.
We got an Avalanche Riders.
I'd rather have Allosaurus Rider so I could turn to Grizzlebrand, but
Those are bad words.
Aetherios was $30, and now according to this it's down to $18, which is great because Aetherios is bonkers.
I think Aetherios will continue to drop. I mean, when that set comes out, I could see him hitting like $12-15.
Well, he only jumped in price because that one content creator outlet put out a thing where they were like, "Yo, Aetherios is like the best black white commander you could ever possibly run," and then everybody went and bought up all the Aetherioses because of how.
I like Tesa.
Yeah, but I mean, Aetherios is just.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
There's a Ristic Study in this set.
Yeah. Wrath of God. Are you gonna pay 3 life for this? Are you gonna pay 3 life for this? Are you gonna pay 3 life for this? There's Animar in here, which I think he's only ever been printed that one time in the Commander
He's been
set.
printed twice.
Has he?
Yeah. He had another. I think he got printed in a Masters set.
Oh, Teferi Temporal Archmage, which has definitely only been printed one
So
time.
Yeah.
glad. I
Thieving
actually
Magpie.
I watched Teferi drop in price, and it made me very happy.
Defense of the Heart, which is at a
So fantastic.
and
One of my favorite cards.
why is Soren Markov from M12 going for $15? Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. Grave Titan, Grasp of Fate, good old Kiki Jiki. Here,
There's
there's
my boy.
one.
Weathered
coming up.
Wayfarer.
Where is... See, some of the cards that I'm really happy to see in here have that wonderful, wonderful set symbol that we haven't seen in a long time. It's the old circle with the line through it. New Phyrexia. A set that they did not print enough of. Admittedly stated, we didn't think this set was going to sell as it did. So now we get to buy wonderful cards like Phyrexian Metamorph, which for some reason has a $10 market price. But it's only because they didn't make enough.
I mean, the whole Phyrexian block. I love Phyrexia in general. Just the storyline to it's just fantastic. And Karn being one of my favorite walkers of all time.
Not in the set.
Yeah, not in the set, but still Karn. You know, it gives him a really good backstory.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be going back there soon because that plane has to die eventually.
Yes.
For 2 reasons.
One, Karn did up the bomb to blow it up.
No.
The Cyrix, which is a bull, but
Mirrodin is a artificial plane. Artificial planes have a finite lifespan.
do they?
Yes. And then your like natural planes like Ravnica and all those other planes that we go to are they formed in the multiverse naturally, so they have an indefinite lifespan.
Okay.
Whereas Mirrodin was created, I think
By
it was
Karn.
created by
It was
Karn.
created
Yeah.
by
It was
Karn.
created by Karn as Argentum, reformed by Memnarch into Mirrodin, and then reformed again by the Phyrexian oil into New Phyrexia.
Yeah, which also, as we know, when the Phyrexians go to a plane, it goes bye-bye because they just pillage it of its natural resources and it dies.
Yep.
And
Yay,
then they push the bile
Phyrexians.
through the blind eternities into the next plane that they go to.
They are the Galactus of magic. It's
Which
fantastic.
allows them to invade that plane.
Yeah, the Phyrexians, maybe we should do some lore casts every once in a while and just talk about some lore stuff because there's a lot of it.
And if you ever, I mean, it's by far the most popular TCG, but by
It
the
got an
same
award for
token, of course. But by the same token, the storyline of it, a lot of players don't actually get into the storyline of MTG, and you really should because it makes playing it that much more fun.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Hopefully, when the Netflix series comes out, I know it's going to be non-canonical, but hopefully it's really good.
I'm excited for the Netflix series. It looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Russo brothers do good work, so it's...
And they said they've been fans of Magic since it came out. So.
I hope to at least see a Marvel Easter egg in there somewhere.
Nah, I'm good
Probably
with that.
not. No.
I'm a DC guy. You know that.
Look, I'm a superhero guy in general. I don't care.
It doesn't matter where
They
it's
can
from.
slap a DC versus Marvel in there somewhere. But
Look, man, they're
let's
printing
not get off
Release the
topic.
Ants in the mystery booster, and I think we need to talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about Release the Ants.
It says Release the Ants deals 1 damage to target creature or player, clash with an opponent, and if you win, return Release to the Ants to its owner's hand. That is a 2-mana instant.
It's hilarious. It's just bad Geist Flame that might go back to your hand.
Can I get a counterpart to that? That is an Anteater card?
Yeah,
No.
Because that would be fantastic
back
too.
in the thing of good cards that are getting printed in this set, Bow of Nylea being the only legendary artifact from the Cycle and Theros getting printed in the set.
Squirrel Wrangler is getting printed in this set.
Quit talking about bad cards.
That's
Hey,
kind
any
of what
card
he
that
does.
makes squirrels isn't a bad card.
If you've ever played a game of Magic the Gathering with John, he takes terrible, terrible cards and somehow does something funny or good with them. Like, I've seen
will
him
make
win the
people
game with
upset.
some of the most jank cards that have ever been printed.
Approach of the Second Sun is in here.
Well, I mean, it's not really super expensive, but it is a fantastic card.
Yeah, and
I mean, is it?
doesn't it just win with God Eternal Kefnet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you cast the first one and then you cast
But
the
it's
one
a
from your
copy.
hand. No, but then you cast the one from your hand.
I
after
don't
you
think
cast
it
the
checks
first one.
for copy. It just says if you've cast 2 spells, name Approach of the Second Sun, you win.
Oh, yeah. Good
The
point.
second time it has to be from your hand, though. That's the only catch.
If Approach from the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun, and Kefnet does say cast a copy,
It does.
so I would say that that's broken.
So what, for 12 mana, you win the game?
Kefnet reduces it by 2.
Yeah, so 12 mana.
7. Yeah, so for 12 mana you win the game.
That is one of the most fun commander decks that I have actually
Oh
made.
yeah, you play Mono Blue God Eternal Kefnet.
I do. I have the SDCC promo of it, and
which is beautiful.
all of the
There's gonna be a
SDCC
song.
promos were just gorgeous in my opinion.
What'd you say, John?
There's going to be a Solemn in this set.
Oh.
Oh, is it
I
the
was just
new
excited
artwork?
about- Yeah, it's the new. Well, I mean, that's what they have.
It
I
might not
hope
be.
it's. I hope it's the new artwork.
Man, I only bought the Madness deck for that artwork.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
mean,
was-
I love the new Soul Ring artwork.
Yeah, but the one that you can only get from it's like the Judge foil that's like
Oh,
$200.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's more expensive than the Masterpiece one.
I forgot that those were a thing. I forgot that those were a thing.
Yeah.
They have I went to Asheville the other day, and Asheville Walmart has the like is it a gift box thing? It's like it comes with like a Kaladesh, an Aether Revolt, and something else.
Yeah, I know what
packs.
you're talking about.
All the you have a chance to pull a really pretty, expensive card gift set.
Yeah. I would really like to get a hold of one of the gift packs that they have out now, but they're like $80, and I don't.
For the Eldraine?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have them in Morganton for like 55.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, I picked one up.
Oh, did you open it yet?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, did you
I
get
got
that?
a alternate art Doom Foretold.
Oh, I'm sorry. My
That's
first,
a thing.
my
I mean,
first alternate art card out of a collector booster was trash too. It was the Ritual of the Ironclad, the one where it's like,
Oh, Ironclad Feet?
yeah. I was like, oh, this is trash. And then the foil behind it was the white legendary, the Circle of Loyalty. I said, oh, so this pack was literally worth $3.
Oh, but the roll down is like, it's a huge roll down. It's awesome.
Oh,
And the whole box is foil.
well, that's
that's
cool.
super nice.
It's like a foiled fat pack. It's cool.
With how many collector boosters are in it? Just one?
Just one. And then it's got
How many
6
other
normal boosters, I think.
Boo. So, yeah.
No, it's got 10 normal boosters.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's
You gotta
what-
think you get that borderless Hoko. You paid for it.
Yeah. Oh, but I have to get that borderless Oko and try not to immediately light it on fire on my front porch.
It'll turn the fire into an elk. Be careful.
Thank God Oko's gone. I'm just so happy that finally. Also, this is going to be the first episode that's not going to be titled about what the episode's about. You know, normally I just am like, episode 3.
You're just going to call it Oko is gone?
Nope, this episode is going to be titled So Long and Thanks for All the Elk.
That's
pretty good.
Props to that.
Yep.
Good play.
Hate Oko. I guess we're done here. Does that anybody have anything else that you want to talk? Is there some more mystery booster cards we want to touch on that are thankfully getting reprinted? Or
in case anyone doesn't know, Squirrel Wrangler says.
Let's end the podcast now.
One
before
green
he-
mana.
just no sign off. Just kill it. Just
And
kill
one
it.
generic mana and sacking a land, you can make 2 1/1 squirrels.
Wow, that's almost as good as every Moonfolk card ever printed.
And then the for the same mana cost, it has another ability. You also have to sack a land for this next ability. All squirrels gain 1/1 until end of turn.
Wow.
So Squirrel Tribal draft decks will be a thing with mystery boosters.
We were talking about something before the show that I kind of want to touch on. We did say we would touch on unsets for a second, too. We were talking about if you Oko Gaddock Teague, what happens. I think you looked it up and you didn't find anything.
I couldn't find anything that gave me a definitive answer.
My only comparison to it would be when the guy Oko'd Blood Moon, made liquid metal coating with Blood Moon and made it into an elk, and everything was still a mountain. It's got to be how it works.
I don't know. I feel like with it becoming an elk and it losing all of the abilities.
Yeah, Blood Moon should have lost all of its abilities.
But that's the question, because like the actual rules of Magic have there's abilities and then there's effects that are printed on card, like rules text that are printed on card, and those aren't considered abilities under because it's not a static ability, it's not a triggered ability, it's not a activated ability.
Yeah,
It's
more,
just a static effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Layers comes in, which is the most ridiculous understanding of the game ever.
That is the hardest part to grasp.
It's like if something happens in Layer 4, it doesn't affect the things that happened in Layer 6. Blood Moon's ability occurs in Layer 6. So when you Layer 4 turn Blood Moon into a 3/3 elk, it doesn't affect Layer 6.
But by the same token, look, and I'm not just saying this because I run a Planeswalker deck. There has to be some kind of answer to Gaddock Teague in a Planeswalker tribal deck. There has to be, and I know there are 2 specific people who are going to laugh when they hear this, and that's shout out to you, Captain Gilby. But there has to be an answer in that other than just, your staples like Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares and Beast Within, all those fun, nonchalant, let's throw this in here because we have to kill something things.
Yeah.
There has to be a Planeswalker tribal answer to Gaddock Teague.
I don't even think is Beast Within 3 mana?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. It's a green and 2 non.
He's just is he a 2/2 or is he he's
just a 2/2.
just a hate
yeah,
player.
you can
shock him.
How many EDH players do you know that run shock?
Lightning
Other
bolt
than
him.
John.
I don't read shock.
See, John doesn't even run shock.
Lightning bolt him.
How many? I've never one time sat at a commander
No,
table and seen a bolt.
I see lightning bolts.
Lightning bolt's great. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I
but
will put lightning bolt on Isochron Scepter. I have done this.
red is a very rare mono color to see unless you're seeing like Kiki Jiki or something.
Torbrand.
I've not seen a Torbrand command EDH deck.
Well, also
And-
he's probably not spiky enough for all of the people around here to play anyway.
Yeah. Well, and even looking at, I've looked at deck lists for him because I think Torbrand's a really cool card, and I would like to see a mono red. But even looking at his deck list, with things that people came up, the most competitive you can play him is, sending some automatic pingers at your opponents. And
Warstorm Surge. There's several other impact trimmers.
yeah,
There's several.
mana barbs, just
Popo.
things like that.
There's some like trebuchet card from M20 that every time you.
There are actually multiple trebuchet cards, and I didn't know that until I looked at the deck list. And
Yeah.
they all involve just throwing a rock and pinging your opponent.
Yeah, and a lot of them will untap for
Yeah.
certain conditions.
Yeah, like there's one you play a pirate. I think it's like a cannon actually. You play a pirate, it untaps.
Yeah.
I think my favorite card that left standard that I'm pretty upset about was Freebooter. I love Freebooter. I had a black-white control on Arena, and it was turn 1 Freebooter, turn 2 Freebooter, turn 3 Freebooter. Just all the you know how many Freebooters you have to play before somebody concedes?
Since we do have a little bit of extra time left,
Yeah.
how often? Let's talk about a dying format. Oh man, it's leaving my head right now.
Standard?
Well, no, the format where you can only play commons. Help me out.
Pauper.
Pauper.
It's fine.
Yeah, but how often do you hear about it? Maybe it's just our region
I think
around
it is.
Marion,
it's
but
just-
like I have not seen a Pauper game played in forever.
I mean, they just banned something in Pauper not that long ago.
Yeah. Arkham's Astrolabe.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
That
nice.
was-
It's nice.
Second episode. Yeah. Pauper is a format that people play.
I love to see Pauper, but I don't see it often. I mean, I think it would be cool if they did like another kind of Pauper-ish format
Just add
around
uncommons.
uncommons,
Yeah.
just uncommons.
It would, I tried to get into playing Pauper, but it's just, you don't really get bombs in the common slot.
They're printing Darksteel Garrison, which has only ever been.
Is that the one where you win the
yeah,
game?
it's a future site. No, it's land. It's a fortified. It's a fortification. It's not even a card type that they use. It's an artifact type. You can use it to fortify a land, and whenever the fortified land becomes tapped, target creature gets 1/1 till end of turn. You pay 3 to fortify it.
It's
land.
like an aura and an artifact
It's like an
had a
equipment.
baby.
It's like an equipment for a land.
That's pretty cool. I don't have a lot of problems with that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but they're putting it
that's
in
cool.
the mystery booster set, so there's like no telling what they're going to be in these packs,
Yeah,
and I'm so excited for these things.
drafts will be interesting.
Yeah,
too.
we may have to get a hold of a box and maybe do some sealed in the old studio.
Yeah.
But let's unsets. You're a huge fan of those.
Love them.
I think they're dumb.
Honestly, one of the things. Okay, I love and hate at the same time about unsets are the lands. The only reason to buy them
Is the
is
lands.
for the lands, but by the same token, that is the reason that they are still expensive. That's the only reason they're expensive. You would pay probably $3 a pack for an unset if they didn't have the only printed this one time beautiful land.
Yeah, and it's something that we've talked about in previous when they did the unsanctioned announcement episode.
Which is trash.
Oh yeah, the only
Since I can throw my 2 cents on it.
the only reason I would spend my money on an unset is if they were printing eternal format staples, black bordered, with hilarious artworks.
Or even flavor text.
Yeah, like just
I would take the normal artwork, but just with some kind of funky flavor text.
let me get a command tower that has like it's just like a big donkey head. That would be hilarious. There's just so many things that they could do with these unsets besides churn them out like Call of Duties and make them playable. Put cards in them that give me a reason to want to buy them. Because your pretty, beautiful $15 land taps for the exact same thing as this regular M20 planes.
But by the same token, it is a really fun way to draft.
I mean, yeah. What are you showing me now, John?
There's going to be a goblin game in the mystery boosters. Well, there's no reason they need to print that card. Why? You know what Goblin Game does?
No.
It
Nobody knows what Goblin Game off the bat does.
Each player hides at least one item, and then all players reveal them simultaneously, and then you lose life equal to the number of items you revealed.
What is an item?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking why they printed this card.
I'm
in this
assuming
set.
it's like, hey, I have like 4 quarters here. I'm just gonna hide these.
Like, do I hide my like?
I think
There
the
goes my
ruling
jacket.
is that you just pick a number, and whoever has the lowest number loses half their life total.
Oh.
So
Great.
let's play a game of odds and evens in the middle of this Magic game.
Yeah.
Why? Well, we're talking about dead formats. Let's touch on the plane chase for a minute. I think it's a format they should bring back.
Yeah, I
Plane chase was,
seriously enjoy Plane Chase.
I really hope half the people listening to this are new to Magic and are like, what is Planes Chase?
yeah. Go look up planes chase. if you
Planes
don't know what
Chase
it
is actually really, really fun.
Planes chases. I sold my planer die that comes with planes chase for like $20.
I think they're basically worthless now.
Because it's a dead format. I've kind of got this thing going where I want to make some planes, more new planes chase cards using planes that like exist now that didn't exist back then.
Yeah, like
And-
an Eldraine one and a Kaladesh one. Yeah, that would be
I had
cool.
a couple of Eldraine ones.
There might already be a Kaladesh plane, actually.
I
would
don't
be
think
nice.
there. I went through it. I didn't see one.
Amonkhet. I mean,
Yeah, there you go. I played around with like making an Eldraine plane. I wanted to do 2 Eldraine planes because some of them have like there's 2 cards for New Phyrexia. There's like 2 cards for usually every plane.
You
has
could
2.
easily do two, like somewhere in the courts, or somewhere in the realm, and then somewhere in the wilds.
Yeah, like I just wanted to do one in the wilds, or when you planeswalk to this plane, all creatures and artifacts become 3/3 elk and lose all abilities.
and personally,
And
No,
then
it would have
have
to be
the-
non-human tribal.
And then have the chaos be exile an elk you control, return it to the battlefield. So you just blink your elk so that it comes back in
As a normal
as
whatever,
not an elk
yeah.
anymore.
I would like to actually hear some reciprocation on that from people that are listening. You know, like on some of those ideas, because that would be nice. That would be nice.
Planes
to hear.
Chase is it's like art. They have these other formats like Monarchy.
Yeah.
We have all these other formats that add something new to the game, and most of them are, Plane Chase isn't designed for EDH, but it plays well with EDH.
Well, I mean, there's nothing I like seeing more than sitting down at a table with 4 or 5 different players playing a game of EDH Commander, and then seeing somebody drop a Monarch card.
Yeah, which is hilarious, because now I just get to draw an extra card every turn.
Well, and that gives the players something to try and get as well, because once you deal them the damage, you become the Monarch. You get to draw that extra card in whatever effect. If you steal their card that entered in with Monarch, same thing.
It's very. Arch Enemy is an incredible format. Arch Enemy is probably my favorite, like, non-competitive Magic format, next to Plane Chase.
Yeah.
Arch Enemy it's usually 1v3, so it's a 4-player format. One person is the Arch Enemy,
I've been on that receiving end a couple of times.
and they start out with 20 health plus 10 additional health for each opponent. And all players that are on the same team take their turns at the same time, and everything happens at the same time. And the Arch Enemy has these, they're called schemes, and every turn they turn up, at the beginning of their turn, they activate a scheme, and then that just happens. My favorite one is the one there. It's like search your library for 2 creature cards, put 1 onto the battlefield and 1 into your hand.
And this is how you win.
Yeah, Blightsteel Colossus.
Nah, he drop in the Kiki Jiki and then play a Zealous Conscripts.
And just win.
Deuces, guys.
It's, the game has all of these optional gameplay formats outside of just the standard let's play Magic.
And
Which,
standard.
I mean, if we're going to be
modern.
honest, the only difference between Commander and Standard is card legality.
Yeah.
It's, but like Plains Chase adds a whole new dimension to it. Monarch doesn't really add a whole lot to it.
Yeah, but I love seeing new things like that happen in these formats because it gives players like, hey, what is that? I've never heard of that before, and it introduces something new to something that people are already like, oh, I know everything.
Yeah, now we're just playing Magic. We're just flopping cards. We all know everybody has the same.
I know what Trample does. I know what Haste does. I know what Lifelink, Double Strike. All these.
I know what
static
banding
abilities.
does.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up about banding.
Like, okay, we have a friend group of X amount of people. We all have had the same commander decks for a while. We kind of build new ones on occasion. And, so it just gets kind of stale playing with the same stuff over and over again. So now, what if, in addition to playing with these same commander decks that we all have always been playing with, now we have a Plains Chase deck, and we're going to deal with this, and hopefully we'll go to some of these really fun ones before we get board wiped by New Phyrexia. Because that's what New Phyrexia does!
And even things like the partner ability, that adds a whole new, like, oh man, they have 2 commanders now?
Yeah, that act independently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. The lieutenant ability, when they added Eminence.
Exactly.
But, that's still, we're just, adding...
Their new abilities, yeah.
Yeah, let's bring Plane Chase back. That's something that I guess I'm going to work on is I'm going to try to come up with a few new Plains Chase cards, and then maybe throw in some other ones, and we'll all come back around and play Commander with Plains Chase cards.
Always down to play a game of Commander.
You can get all the Plains Chase cards for free on an app, and there's just an app that has it. I don't think that app lets you make new ones, so I'll have to just make all of those, and we'll play with index card Plains Chase cards.
And, you can do simple and easy things like that, I swear, John, if you talk about another jank card.
It's a squirrel. I can see the squirrel on the artwork.
It is a bear cub, thank you very much.
It's a bear
cub.
Okay.
That changes things.
Well, alright, let's wrap it up. Andy, thank you so much for playing game nights with us and coming back to record the episode. I know we're a little late, but we all have jobs that kind of take priority. So
got to make that money so I can buy Okos.
I'm out of work for another week, so I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna hang out for a minute, John. I'm gonna talk to you about something before we all head out.
There's a crenellated wall.
Oh, take his phone from him. Take his phone from him. But thank you everybody for listening. If you want to support the show, you can like and follow. We post a video on YouTube. It's also up on Spotify. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell. Hopefully, I'll learn how to video edit and I'll start posting the videos that we record.
There's a Drake. Why is there a Draco? Draco's such a weird...
The phone has been taken.
Bad
Thank
card.
you.
For those of you who don't know, Draco is a 16-drop 10-10.
End it. Click it in now.
Okay.
End it now.
Okay. It is a 16-drop 10-10 though. I'm not lying about
you can follow us on Facebook at Dorks Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Dorks Pod. Andy, you don't really have any social medias that we can plug, do you?
I'm on Facebook.
Andy is a manager at the local Walmart. Go ahead and check him out there.
He won't sell you ammo because you're friends.
I don't have to sell ammo anymore.
Support local business. I know we talk about Walmart a whole lot, but we don't have a local card shop anywhere within 45-minute drive of where we're at. So hopefully a new one of those comes through soon. I haven't heard anything about it in a while.
Nope, me neither. But we will do some shouts out to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, as soon as something gets figured out. John, you have any? Who gave him his phone back?
I ungrounded him.
Oh, you ungrounded him.
I'm leaning.
But once again, thank you guys so much for listening. Shop local and let's unban Grizzlebrand in Commander.